On this Eastern episode of UTR, we take another ride up Michigan's Sunrise Side. We'll choose some cheese in Pinconning, taste a new twist on an old beverage, take a riverboat ride up the awesome Ossible, and stay at a beautiful B&B. Heck, we'll even buy you a delicious chicken dinner. Get ready to explore the cool people, places, and things that make Michigan's Sunrise Side a great place to play.
Along the way is where we find the unexpected. Along the way is where we take in the scenery, and often where we have the most fun. Sure, along the way can be the place we stop to fill up or grab a bite to eat. But in Michigan, along the way becomes the place we've been longing for. Because enjoying the journey is always pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
The Michigan Economic Development Corporation, dedicated to shared economic success. MEDC promotes the state's assets and opportunities that support business investment, job growth, and community vitality. There's something special about the pride, the skill, and the passion it takes to build something great. The Construction Association of Michigan, CAM, understands that passion and has been providing contractors with the resources they need since 1885. A visit to the Stahls Automotive Museum will take you back to a time when cars were more than just a way to get around. In addition to beautiful cars, enjoy the collection of gas pumps, road signs, oil cans, and other car-related accessories. Info at stahlsauto.com.
I've been around the world, but there's one place I keep coming back to. And the more I explore, the more I realize it's the place to be. I'm Tom Dalton, and this is Under the Radar, Michigan.
Now, if you're a morning person like me, you love the sunrise. And if you love Michigan, you know that the east side of the state gets light first, which comes in pretty handy when you get lost as much as I do. Good boy.
Sure, I may be directionally challenged, but when it comes to having fun in Michigan, I know exactly which direction to head. And that's east, to our great state's Sunrise Side, where you can stretch out, get wet, eat great, discover new towns, and explore more. That's right, our Sunrise Side has everything you need to live, stay, and play Michigan style. So grab a pencil and your bucket of fun list, because east it is. Michigan's Sunrise Side is located to the east, right on the beautiful shores of Lake Huron. Funny how that happens.
Are you lactose tolerant like me? When people offer you cheese, do you say, yes, please? Well, good, because this first savory Sunrise Side segment is for you. Oh, and yes, my chapeau is made completely out of fromage.
If you're a bona fide cheese lover and you live in Michigan, you eventually have to make the pilgrimage to Pinconning. It's been designated the cheese capital of our great state, and it's where you'll find the famous Pinconning Cheese Company, a place where they've been cutting this historic cheese for over 70 years. Brian Saha is the cheese master general who chose this curded concoction as a wonderful way of life.
So when this place started, there was a dirt road out front. It's been that long?
Yeah, basically, Pinconning cheese production started in 1915. Dan Horn came over from Wisconsin, started his formulation of cheese, which is a cross between, it's considered a Colby cheese, but back then they didn't have the refrigeration. They aged it in cold cellars, and that's where the aging of the Pinconning cheese and just a variation of the Colby came about, so it can be aged like a cheddar.
So Pinconning is its own kind of cheese? It's
correct. It's a stirred curd Colby, which is a little variation from a Colby. It has a creamy, buttery content to it, versus the cheddar is drier, pastier tasting, open texture. Very good to the palate, and it melts very well, too.
In my refrigerator, when cheese gets old, you have to throw it away. But you can age, you have 16-year-old cheese?
Yes.
Well, is it the older the cheese gets, the sharper it gets?
Correct. Yep, just like people, right?
Yeah, good point. Yeah. Well, would you mind if I went behind the counter and cut some, as it were?
Just gotta watch your hands.
Oh, I
don't want to
promise.
cut your hands.
Gotcha.
Well, as cheesy as I can be, this was my perfect opportunity. So Brian's son, Brett, boarded some cheese for me to choose.
Now, I understand you're going to teach me how to cut the cheese. So go ahead. Well, I'd like to start with something mild, actually.
Okay.
Okay, we got our mild here. It's about a couple days old.
Well, let me just cut something that we can both share. I don't want to waste any of this cheese because it's okay.
That's a good start.
Have you ever had this cheese before?
Yes, all the
You wanna try
time.
some?
Sure.
That's very good. That's a. It's like a cheddar or a Colby, only it's a Pinconning.
Pinconning Colby, yep.
That's a very good cheese.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the fresh one. Let me taste the one that's like, how old is the next one?
Next one we got here is a 7-year super sharp.
So 7 years. Okay.
Yep.
And I get to cut it, or you want to?
You can cut it if you like.
Well, show me the proper procedure because I'm just making this up as I go. Did you like the cheese tie your dad gave me?
Yeah, it's stylish. It's very fitting.
We can cut this afterwards. Go ahead.
Okay.
So this is 7-year-old cheese.
Yep, we got about a half pound here. I can cut a little piece off for you.
So I imagine this is a little sharp, has a little more character, flavor.
It's got a little more kick to it, yep. There's that for you.
That's a big piece. Here, I'll split that with you. Here, you take that. Oh, wow. And it's got an earthy flavor. It's got, now that's really, really good.
Yeah, yep. It's a little creamier.
Now, the pièce de résistance, I want to taste the 16-year-old cheese.
Okay. This crumble is really good, so actually got a piece that crumbled right off for you, so
Oh,
try
okay.
that.
So this is really 16 years old.
Yep.
So I was like 26 when they made this, right?
Yep, I was about 10 years old.
That's extraordinary. For 16 years, that's been waiting for me to taste it.
Yep.
Wow, thank you for being so patient, Mr. Cheese.
Let's face it, if you're a cheese lover, you'll want to promptly propel yourself to the Pinconning Cheese Company. And if you're not, well, again, I'm pretty cheesy, so you got that going for you.
You know, I've always said there's only 2 kinds of wine in the world, the kind you like and the kind you don't like. But what if you don't like wine at all? Well, you're about to meet a guy who fixed that problem.
Meet Tom Nixon at Modern Craft Wines. He's a biosystems engineer by trade who traded in his job to invent a collection of wines he'll actually quaff. Yes, Tom became a mad mixologist determined to make wines that are more mouth-friendly to the masses. And that brought me and the crew to his winery and tasting room in Augray to do, well, exactly that.
Okay, first of all, what is a biosystems engineer?
A biosystems engineer. Okay, so it's part of biology, so you learn about cells and how cells work and chemistry and those types of things. And then so it's engineering, it's all the mechanical engineering things you get with engineering background, but they infuse all of the biological tissues and living things into all of that stuff. So you get that broad spectrum of biosystems.
Well, that explains why you're good with making wine, because it's part chemistry,
Yeah.
part art, and mostly fun.
Or more by accident even, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that was how we started.
Well, speaking of getting started, how did a guy who doesn't like wine end up owning a winery and making wine?
A beer. So the beer was always the passion, right? I'd get into the beer and you'd go to restaurants and that craft beer thing started to come up. And so I was making craft beer in the basement. And it eventually moved into the bathtub, and the wife got a little bit angry about the beer things in the bathtub, so she moved me outside and eventually into the garage. And then it's like, okay, so we start getting into thinking about opening a business. How do you get into beer? Beer was a difficult business to get into. All the microbreweries popping up and competition. And so we visited a couple wineries and said, okay, this wine thing looks like it could be easy to get into. The boutique wineries are a thing.
But you don't like wine.
Yeah, right. So we said if we're gonna do wine, we have to do wine that's different than everybody else. So we started very simplistic. We developed a fruit infusion process that took normal wines, red wines and white wines, and infused the fruit into it. Of course, that evolved over time into things like our wine blossom rosé. We're doing a pina colada wine today, so it's all about how you flavor it, what other ingredients you put into that to make this truly a different kind of wine. And so I guess that's just sort of like, hey, we got this wine thing. It looks like it's something that we could get into. Let's open the garage, right? So the bathtub got moved to the basement, got moved to the garage.
The brewery turned into a winery.
The brewery turned into a winery, yep, somewhere along the line there. And then we're like, well, we better just open the doors and start selling to people. So the first tasting room opened in November of 2011, and that's all she wrote. Now we have 6 tasting rooms across the state of Michigan, and we have more tasting rooms than any other winery in Michigan.
How has the wine community, I don't want to say wine snobs, but the serious wine community, how have they embraced you?
we don't pull any punches. We don't trick people to try to think that we're a traditional winery and that when you come here, you're gonna get the wine and swirl it up. We say it. Mix it up, guys. Come on and try something new. And you know, they're skeptical at first maybe, and then they come in here and they see what we're doing, and we're not trying to sell them something we're not. Try something new. Mix the red wine with the grapefruit. Put a little tonic in your grapefruit, and they go, oh, this is really cool concept. Oh, my daughter'd like that.
It's almost like it's a modern crafted wine.
Exactly.
Tom is yet another example of a young person being creative and innovative right here in Michigan. And he's doing it with a liquid that's near and dear to my heart. So if you've yet to find the kind of wine you like, check out the selection at Modern Craft. I'm sure Tom is conjuring one up right now you'll absolutely love, because these are wines of a whole different kind.
Let me ask you something. When was the last time you went on an authentic paddle wheel boat ride up the awesome Ossible in Oscoda?
Well, as hard as that might be to say, it's something that's absolutely a ton of fun to do. It's called the Ossible River Queen, and for the past 50 years, this double-decker flotilla of fun has been a family favorite. So the guys and I checked our land legs at the dock, climbed aboard, and we headed upriver for yet another UTR adventure. And to make sure we had all the fun afforded us, I checked in with Captain Roger Rice.
So how'd you get to be a riverboat captain? Are you a real captain?
I am. I actually have a certificate.
Oh, yeah, look, these are all on the wall.
Actually, my mother-in-law owned the boat, and I trained under licensed captain for years, and I fell into it.
You love it?
It's a lot better than the masonry I was doing before.
Now, is this a real riverboat? Is this like modeled after the old Mississippi boats?
Yep, actually, the man that built it, Howard Brubaker, he went to Mississippi and purchased some blueprints because there are so many stumps and trees in the river. He wanted something that wouldn't draft a lot, and it only drafts a foot of water. It's a true flat bottom.
So only 1 foot in the water?
Correct.
That's amazing. And this boat's been in service how long?
53 years.
Really?
Safe passage, yep.
I've been on a few of these boats they were called paddle wheel boats, but the paddle wheel is just decoration. This is a real paddle wheel boat.
This is absolutely authentic. Yep. If it breaks, you have to get in it and act like a gerbil.
I do?
Yeah, well.
Somebody does, right? What do people tell you when they can ride, when they're getting off?
Love the ride, love the scenery, especially in the fall. Our fall is actually the busiest time of year.
And you guys go up to Labor Day or past Labor Day?
Oh, past Labor Day. We run through the 3rd week of October.
So we're doing about how many knots?
Right around 3.5.
No, you never try and slalom the canoers, do you?
Actually, no, because normally the canoers pass me.
I don't suppose someone like me could actually steer the boat.
Well, you'd have to wear the hat, Tom.
Oh, you got the hat.
You have to
All
wear
right.
the hat.
All right. Yeah, you want me to be an American ship's captain or maybe French? Right? Am I really steering the boat?
Yes, you are.
Let me know when I do something right.
Okay.
Hey, look, everybody, I'm steering the boat.
I'm gonna go now.
Yeah, no, maybe you should take it over there, Captain Roger. There you go.
Hey, heck of a job.
Thanks. Thanks, everybody.
Yay!
Oh, no, really, it was nothing. It was nothing. No, really. I know, it really was nothing. Thank you. Thank you.
Not only was Captain Roger awesome at nautical navigation, he was also great at informing and entertaining the ship's passengers. We had a great time laughing and learning all about this historic and majestic river. The good captain even let the kids don an official cap and take a turn at the ship's wheel. This was a special moment for all the little captains on board and made for some pretty cool and fun family photos. Captain Roger made sure every single kid got a chance to steer the mighty River Queen. Even a big kid or two. Oh, I had such a great time on the River Queen that I almost forgot to get off the boat. I'm not really sure why I was the only one who had to perform a muster drill. Maybe Captain Roger's seen our show. If you're in search of some sensational sunrise side floating family fun and you want to experience an authentic paddle wheel boat ride up the Ossible, I've said it before and I'll say it again. You're supposed to go to Oscoda. I just love saying that.
Do you like to sleep in a bed and do you like breakfast? Well, I found a really cool place that combines both those things. Now, I know there's a name for places like that, but for the life of me, I can't think of what it is.
Actually, Tom, they're called bed and breakfasts, and the one of which you so eloquently speak is the Huron House, and it offers both those things and a whole lot more. As the name suggests, it sits on the scenic shores of Lake Huron between Taos and Oscoda, and it's not just filled with doilies and fluffy pillows. This is a luxury B&B that's really more like a mini romantic resort, and it's got everything you need to feel like you've, well, arrived. Al Heminger is the hospitable host at the Huron House, and he made sure this special B&B was up for someone the likes of me.
What inspired you to create this little slice of paradise? Well, you shouldn't even say little. This place is big.
Well, I mean, just the fact that right here on Lake Huron and great beach, and we felt like this is something pretty unique in Michigan.
What makes this bed and breakfast different from other ones?
Well, I think we're a little different from the standpoint of most bed and breakfast, traditional B&Bs. You come to a room where there's a common table and you sit and eat breakfast with all the guests, and that, at least for my wife and I, was not our favorite part of a B&B experience. And most B&Bs are, old architecture, Victorians. That's not us.
And just the fact that, like you said, you're right here on the lake and the beach is beautiful. I don't think Florida beaches have anything on this beach.
We're pretty partial. We think this beach is pretty great, and we think it's one of the best beaches in Michigan for sure. And it's one of those places that a lot of people that have been born and raised in Michigan, they've never been here. We have guests that come and stay with us that they've been to Hawaii, they've been to Florida, and they're always blown away by the fact that you can walk out your room and in just a couple stops you're on the beach.
And weren't you named one of the most romantic B&Bs?
We had just recently, we had a media inquiry, and they named us one of the top 20 B&Bs in the country. So how they find Little Oscoda and find us is pretty impressive.
Well, we found you.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, this place, I can see why it's great for romance, because it's weird. It's right on the lake. There's cottages and there's homes right adjacent to you, but it still feels so private, like you're tucked into a little private cove here.
Well, I mean, part of our focus is romantic getaways for couples. We want them to come and just be able to reconnect and relax. Totally an adult-only destination. Not that we don't like kids. I have 4 myself.
Right, it's called us time. Not
right.
Us meaning you and me, but I mean, it's like it's time to get away with your significant other and just be you again.
Absolutely,
right.
Absolutely.
It's just so weird to sit here in Oscoda, Michigan, and this place has such a wonderful tropical feel. It's like you could be in an all-inclusive in Cancun or anywhere tropical.
We like to think of ourselves as a destination without the plane ticket.
Ooh, smart. That's nice. That's nice.
So with all the guff, mishigas, and hubbub that surrounds your life today, I highly recommend a healthy hiatus at the Huron House. It's a luxury stay that's not too far away. And after all, you're worth it. Me, not so much. But you, absolutely.
Now, if you're hungry, don't forget what show you're watching, because I've got a great chicken dinner for you. And actually, so does Iva.
Actually, since 1938, Iva's Chicken Dinners has been a staple here in Sterling, and the restaurant remains a family affair to this day. 3 generations have quelled the hunger of happy travelers with Iva Osterhout's original recipe. This is old school chicken dinner done right with all the trimmings. If chicken dinner is what you crave in these here parts, you drive to Iva's. Kevin King is one of Iva's culinary kin who helps continue this delicious family tradition.
So Iva was your great aunt, right?
That's correct.
Okay, and she started this place way back in when?
1938. When it happened in the area, they struck oil. So there were a lot of guys that fled to Sterling, and they needed a place to stay. So she actually rented out some rooms upstairs, had a boarding house, and then she cooked for them. They liked her cooking so much that she decided to open a restaurant.
Really? And that's how Iva started?
That's how it started.
What do you think is so special about what she created here?
Well, I think it's a unique way to fry the chicken. We still use the iron skillets. Still do it the exact same way she did it. We just try to keep the tradition alive.
Well, I love the feel and look of this place. It like takes you back in time. And we get our best meals in little places that have been passed down through the generations.
Absolutely.
Family run. So it's like it means something to you and it means something to the community.
Yep.
Now, when we first got here, I noticed you were back in the kitchen wearing an apron.
Yes.
You cook here too?
Yes. I'm pretty hands-on. I get here usually about 8:30 in the morning, start right from scratch with the broth, and I'm in the back almost every minute we're open. My wife's here in the front, runs the dining room, so it just works out for us that way.
And I think I saw some of your offspring back there working hard too.
I've got my 11-year-old and my 16-year-old doing dishes right now, and I've got my 18-year-old frying chicken, and my 14-year-old's bussing, and my 22-year-old daughter's serving. So we have all 5 working today.
What a great thing, though, to do with and for your kids, you know, to share the family business, to teach them a good work ethic,
Yep.
and feed them some good fried chicken.
That's right. Mom and Dad taught us the value of $1. You had to work for it, and trying to hand down to our kids. They work hard, and my wife couldn't do it without her. It's great to be around them, too. A lot of our quality times come after work, after a good, hard day.
That's old school.
Yeah.
I bet they're good kids.
They are. I'm proud of them.
Now, the kitchen, every time we've done a fried chicken place, the kitchens are always immaculate and huge. Was it always that big back there?
I think there were 4 additions. We're sitting in the old farmhouse right now. And, you know, as business grew, they just kept adding on.
How far do people come to Iowa?
Yeah, we've got a book, you know, that folks sign in. We get them from out of state. A lot of our clientele's from down in the Detroit area. They have cabins. So we're seasonal. We're open March through November. A lot of people have the cabins they stop in. It's a destination for them. They know they're stopping. We have regulars we know by name, and they've been coming since they've been children with their parents, and it works out well.
Well, you grew up here, right? I mean, you
Yes.
grew up at this place. What's that like growing up in,
It's been pretty cool. I started working here when I was 9. You know, Mom was here forever. Mom ran it for Iowa for many years, and it's just been a big part of our life, and it's a big part of our kids' life now.
Now, other than the skillets, the cast iron skillets,
Yes.
is there a secret recipe or spice blend?
Boy, if I told you, you wouldn't believe me, but it's simply salt and pepper and flour. Pan fry it, and then we steam it at the end. So we cook 13 pieces at a time, and you know, it's about a half-hour process.
A half-hour process?
Yep.
Well, that's probably why it's so good, because it's so simple.
Yeah.
It's basic and it's simple and it's good.
If you try it at home, it's messy. Just forewarning.
Yeah, come here. Yeah, let you do the messy part.
Let me do it for you.
At Iva's, it's all about family, friends, and fantastic fried chicken. As a matter of fact, everyone here was so darn friendly and hospitable, I couldn't help but, well, help myself to a heapin' helping of everybody else's entree.
Ooh, chicken, me favorite. Excuse me. Ooh, pardon me. That looks good. I got it.
Once I chose enough chicken, Jim, Eric, and I sat down for a feast of fowl like no other. Jim politely dug in, Eric enjoyed his in earnest, and I, of course, set out to conquer Mount Chicken. A noble task indeed, but hey, somebody's got to do it. If taste like chicken is one of your favorite phrases, pull up a chair at Iva's. You'll discover a great part of the state, make some new friends, and munch on a mouth-watering meal that'll make you miss your mom. And if adventure is what you're looking for, look up and down Michigan's Sunrise side. We did, and look how gosh darn much fun we're having. Hey there, want to know more about all the great places we go on the program? Just go to our website. You can watch episodes, tell us where to go, jump to our Facebook page, and even buy a hat like mine. So just go to utrmichigan.com. That's utrmichigan.com. Go now. Or now.
Along the way is where we find the unexpected. Along the way is where we take in the scenery, and often where we have the most fun. Sure, along the way can be the place we stop to fill up or grab a bite to eat. But in Michigan, along the way becomes the place we've been longing for. Because enjoying the journey is always pure Michigan. Your trip begins at Michigan.org.
The Michigan Economic Development Corporation, dedicated to shared economic success. MEDC promotes the state's assets and opportunities that support business investment, job growth, and community vitality. There's something special about the pride, the skill, and the passion it takes to build something great. The Construction Association of Michigan, CAM, understands that passion and has been providing contractors with the resources they need since 1885. A visit to the Stalls Automotive Museum will take you back to a time when cars were more than just a way to get around. In addition to beautiful cars, enjoy the collection of gas pumps, road signs, oil cans, and other car-related accessories. Info at stallsauto.com.